Buffalo Jim Barrier was voted Las Vegas's most colorful character in 2005. At 6 feet, 2 inches tall and wearing his black velvet top hat along with his bullet-covered chest plate, Buffalo Jim was recognized wherever he went. Barrier moved to Las Vegas in 1971 from Cleveland, Ohio, and NBSP. In addition to owning a well-known auto repair shop not far from the Vegas Strip, Buffalo Jim's side gig was being a WWE wrestling promoter with his own wrestling school and TV wrestling show. Buffalo Jim loved being around wrestling titans Dwayne, The Rock Johnson, Hulk Hogan, and The Undertaker, and was a friend to everyone he met. However, what he treasured most in life were his 4 daughters. The school was sometimes the site of his popular local TV show, Gym Wars, which aired on Friday nights. In addition to his auto repair business, wrestling school, and television show, Barrier wrote a weekly column on auto repair for the now-defunct Las Vegas Mercury entitled Nuts and Bold with Buffalo Jim. Barrier also possessed a large collection of celebrity memorabilia, 3 from vehicles to a lock of musician Elvis Presley's hair. In addition to smaller pieces in his collection, Barrier also sported a car collection that included a Jensen Interceptor once owned by singer Wayne Newton, and a pink Cadillac that was later borrowed by musician Kid Rock as part of his proposal to Pamela Anderson in Las Vegas in 2002. Buffalo Jim worked hard to provide his daughters with a good life, but faced an ongoing feud with the Crazy Horse 2, a strip club located next door to his auto shop, and over the years, the issues at the club became intolerable and dangerous. Due to beatings and shakedowns taking place in a parking lot he shared with the Crazy Horse 2, Buffalo Jim didn't much care for the club or its owner, Rick Rizzolo. Buffalo Jim hated corruption and did his best to fight against it, showing up at city council meetings with photos and accounts of drug dealing and violent behavior outside the club. Crazy Horse 2 is a closed strip club located at 2476 Industrial Road in Las Vegas, Nevada, a few blocks west of the Las Vegas Strip. The club was known as Billy Joe's during the 1970s. In 1978, the club was purchased by mob member Tony Albanese and renamed Billy Joe's Crazy Horse 2, after the Crazy Horse Saloon, another Las Vegas strip club owned by Albanese. In 1984, Rick Rizzolo took over operations of the club when it was purchased by his father, Bart Rizzolo. Rick Rizzolo was a majority owner by 1986. In 1995, federal officials began an investigation of activities at Crazy Horse 2. The club endured a history of violent crimes, including the alleged beating of a tourist in 2001. In 2003, Crazy Horse 2 was searched by multiple government officials who were investigating possible links between the club and organized crime. As part of a plea bargain, Rick Rizzolo and 16 club officials pleaded guilty to multiple charges in May and June 2006. Rizzolo was ordered to sell the club within a year as part of the deal. Crazy Horse 2 subsequently closed in September 2006 after its liquor license was revoked. The club reopened with a temporary liquor license in October 2006. Because he refused to relocate his auto shop so the strip club could expand into his space, Buffalo Jim faced continued harassment. His auto shop was broken into and vandalized, and his clients' cars were smashed, scratched, and illegally towed away. Barrier was known in Las Vegas because of media coverage for winning a lengthy court dispute about parking spaces with his neighbor and landlord Rick Rizzolo, former owner of the Crazy Horse 2 Gentlemen's Club, located next door to Barrier's repair shop. Rizzolo was court-ordered to sell the nightclub to satisfy debts. When the business did not sell, the U.S. Marshal Service seized the bar in September 2007, forcing its eventual closure. Rizzolo was released in late March 2008 after serving a year in a federal prison on a racketeering and tax evasion conviction in U.S. federal court. Because of the government taking over the property, Barrier was forced to move. He was working with real estate professionals to secure a new location before he died. After a successful FBI sting on the strip club for racketeering, a sting that Buffalo secretly aided as an unofficial informant, he started receiving anonymous threats and warnings that killers would make his death appear to be related to drugs and women. It was clear that Buffalo Jim had created some powerful enemies bent on bringing him and his business down. In April of 2008, Buffalo Jim was found dead in a Las Vegas motel, just 1 week after Rick Rizzolo, the strip club owner and the man he helped put behind bars, was released from prison. Was Buffalo Jim's death a cocaine-induced heart attack, or was it a carefully planned hit? According to police, Barrier was found lying in bed face up, with an empty prescription bottle of Valium on the nightstand and his pants pulled down around his ankles. A woman only known as Lisa, who was found and talked to, who was in the room with Barrier that night, told police that Barrier had a seizure. However, she did not report it at the time and left as his seizure occurred. The official cause of death was ruled accidental, citing dilated cardiomyopathy. Between April 2008 and June 2008, statements by then Clark County Coroner Michael Murphy also stated traces of cocaine in Barrier's toxicology reports as a contributing factor to his death. Additionally, 20 milligrams of GHB in Barrier's system, but was not seen as a factor leading to his death. Las Vegas Metro Police and the coroner ruled that Buffalo Jim's death was a drug-induced heart attack and stand by this ruling today. While Barrier's death was ruled accidental by officials, friends and family have publicly stated that Barrier's death was a murder and remains unsolved. The Clark County Coroner and Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department investigators did not suspect foul play in the death of Barrier, and the scene of Barrier's death was not dusted for fingerprints. A preliminary report to Barrier's family stated there were no signs of drugs or a heart attack in Barrier's body. A later autopsy report later stated that Barrier died of dilated cardiomyopathy, inflamed heart muscles. The Las Vegas Review-Journal reported the following from then Clark County Coroner Michael Murphy, DBA. Sims' preliminary report indicated there were no signs of a heart attack, fueling the family's belief that Barrier died under suspicious circumstances. Murphy said that when an individual dies from a heart attack, the heart muscle is dead. Barrier had no dead muscles but had heart disease. In medical terms, he died from a heart disease combined with cocaine use, Murphy said, clarifying Sims' findings. Not satisfied with the findings of the Clark County coroner, Barrier's family hired independent pathologist Dr. Rexine Worrell to perform an autopsy. Barrier's family was promised photographs, video, audio, and notes documenting the examination upon completion of the autopsy. Once completed, however, Worrell declined to provide the family with the findings, saying, "I need to hold on to the file in case it goes to court." As of 2018, 10 years after the independent autopsy, the information obtained by Worrell concerning Barrier's body had yet to be released to the family. In an effort to determine if Barrier had a recent history of drug use, Barrier's family requested that his body be exhumed to test hair samples from his body for drugs. The Clark County Coroner's Office stated they had no plans to exhume Barrier's body, and that such an action could only be done at the request of law enforcement for a criminal prosecution. According to the Motel 6 security cameras on Saturday, April 5, 2008, Barrier was seen in the motel lobby checking into room 105 at 8:22 p.m. A receipt for the room also notes the time of check-in as 8:22 p.m. He is then seen exiting the lobby at 8:24 p.m. However, the key card log at the Motel 6 shows that room 105, the room Barrier was given, was accessed by a guest key at 8:15 p.m., 7 minutes prior to Barrier checking into his room. The next entry on the keycard log for room 105 was when housekeeping first found him the next day on April 6th. This would mean that Barrier entered room 105 7 minutes before he checked into the Motel 6 and received his keycard to room 105. Reports obtained by Barrier's family from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, there is no mention of this backwards time jump. In fact, the reports indicate that the investigating detectives do not account for, nor do they make any attempt to reconcile this time discrepancy. When Barrier was found in the motel room, the coroner investigator and police investigators stated that there was a white powdery substance on Barrier's shirt and beard. While cocaine was found in Barrier's system, the reports from both the coroner and law enforcement indicate that the white powdery substance found on his beard and shirt were never tested to determine if it was actually cocaine. The substance was never matched with the cocaine found in Barrier's system.